Hello, and welcome to another episode of A Conversation with Carl. Remember to like and follow for the latest content and subscribe. Today, we're excited to be speaking with Hunter Stoller. He's a 2022 graduate of the University of Michigan to talk about everything related to health. Hunter's love for helping others to improve their health came from his own weight loss transformation, where he lost 50 pounds and has successfully kept it off. Hunter is now an Instagram sensation with brand collaborations and inspiring videos. Welcome, Hunter Stoller, to the conversation.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited to have you here today, and I'm so excited to talk about, I guess, everyone's favorite topic, which is food. So let me ask you, how do you get started on this journey?
So, my journey started in 2020 when it was over COVID, and I truly just had a flip go off in my brain. And something just made me realize that the way that I felt has to do with the food that I'm eating and the lifestyle that I'm living. And I started by actually doing Weight Watchers, which I'm sure most of your listeners are familiar with what Weight Watchers is. And that really taught me about portions, what foods you should be not avoiding, but limiting or reducing in your diet, and which foods and drinks are important too, you should be prioritizing. And just learning more about portion control, protein, fiber, the 0 point foods on Weight Watchers, those principles and what I learned helped me lose 50 pounds in 5 to 6 months.
What were you going to college for? Were you going to health, or you took a detour?
So I went to college for information science, which is more technology based and nothing related to do with food. I had no interest in food until my junior year of college. And I became a certified health coach through the Institute for Integrative Nutrition, completely separate from college.
There was an article in the New York Post where you claimed that eating healthy saved you $11,000.
It did.
So tell me about this because
Yeah. So what I used to do is I would stock my fridge and freezer and pantry up with healthy alternatives and healthy options or things that I at least thought were healthy at the time in college. And I would never eat it. And I would be paying for it because, quote unquote, the diet starts Monday, the diet starts tomorrow. On Sundays, I would do my grocery shopping or get the groceries delivered. And I would keep that food in my apartment while I was also Uber eating 3 or 4 times a day. And that's not an exaggeration, or at least picking up food. So between picking up food and ordering food in 2 to 4 times a day. And I was basically paying double. And then once I realized enough was enough, I stopped the Uber Eats thing. Now I Uber Eats once a month at the most, whenever there's a snowstorm or I don't feel well, or I just want to treat myself and don't want to leave. And it's just so crazy how I realized that actually using the foods that I was buying and buying things that I know I'm going to eat and love is it's not only like a form of self love, but it's also you are going to feel so much better. You're going to eat bigger portions and you're going to most likely eat fewer calories because you know exactly what you're putting into your body.
how do you decide? Do you plan meals ahead, or do you, like, you wake up this morning, did you plan your meal, or do you just go with what you're feeling? Or
So I don't write anything down or plan them internally, but I eat pretty much very similar things every day. I love my yogurt bowls in the morning. I love coffee. I have the same coffee every single day. I switch up a crunch and a fruit that I put in my yogurt bowl or a protein powder. I usually have a smoothie. I have turkey. I have chicken. I have some ground beef or steak, whatever it is. And those foods pretty much make up 95% of my diet.
do you weigh your foods? Are you looking at like portions, or are you just eating?
So I don't. I haven't
Yeah.
weighed a food in years and I
Okay.
haven't needed to because for weight loss, right now, I'd love to lose a few pounds. But when I was first starting and I had over 40, 50 pounds to lose, weighing was a very big tool that I would push for anyone who has a weight loss journey to go on because it's all about awareness. And at the beginning of a journey, you should know how many calories you actually are eating because the amount you're eating is very different from the amount you think you're eating.
Yes, that is correct. I do you have the like I have the food noise in my head. Like, I like to plan ahead, like what I'm going to have for dinner, what I'm having dinner tomorrow night. I think about it all the time. I'm always thinking, like, what am I going to do for my
Yeah.
next meal? So, do you have the food noise, or you don't have the food noise?
So I think I have it in a different way
Okay.
because my job is all about nutrition and health and wellness. So I'm always thinking about food, but not in a way like I want to eat this or I am thinking about what I'm going to be having for dinner 3 nights from now. So it's not really about me. It's more so just the thoughts in my head all pretty much surround food because that's my job. I mean, think about what people do from 9 to 5. They're probably thinking about work a lot. So I think about food, drinks, health and wellness, products, things like that all the time.
One of the things I love about your Instagram is that you give people ideas of what to do, and you go through a list. You go to like Walmart, you go to show the 5 restaurants to go eat at in the city.
Mhm.
How do you pick the products? How do you pick the
So
food
I
that you're
do
going to
it based
suggest?
off my own standards on ingredients and also taste. I'm not going to recommend something that, might have amazing ingredients and nutrients, but tastes disgusting to me. My followers know that I don't eat fish. I don't eat mayo. I don't eat mustard. And that doesn't mean that those are not healthy. I think fish is incredible for you. I still recommend it, but they know that if I say fish is delicious, I'm lying
Yeah.
because that's not how I feel. But that's also the idea of bioindividuality. There's no one size fits all when it comes to health, wellness, and nutrition. So the diet that works for me is not going to work for the next person who wants to get healthy, or you. So I go around the grocery store like I will be going this afternoon, and I will be scouring the aisles and video ideas just pop in my head. And I just make the videos and edit them and post them.
Speaking of, you talked about how you did not like tuna fish,
Yeah.
but you did recommend it.
Uh-huh.
I like tuna fish. I kind of appreciate that because
Yeah.
I'm somebody who likes that and is thinking, oh, that'd be a good item to have.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's so healthy for you. It's just I can't stand the taste of fish, so I'm not gonna eat it.
Are you suggesting people move? How do
So
you?
working out is very important. And working out also it's a very popular myth that working out is for weight loss. And working out is not for weight loss. Working out is for your heart health, your whole cardiovascular health and system, your mental health. Maybe it's for socializing and also to just have a community. And also, of course, to get stronger. The workout that you do should involve some type of progressive overload or strength training so that you're building muscle. Whether you're a man or a woman, your goal when exercising should be to increase your heart health through cardio and strength training, and also to build lean muscle mass, which is just getting stronger in the gym by using whether it's your body weight, bands, or dumbbells or machines. And so many people have the false belief that exercise is for weight loss, whereas exercise is really extra credit for weight loss. Of course, you burn calories, but it is very easy to eat 500 calories and it is very difficult to burn 500 calories at the gym. So it's really important to understand that what you put in your mouth controls your weight, but how you exercise really does determine, or in part determine, how you feel every day.
Yeah, I mean, I love to go spinning, and I spin about 3 times a week, and I find it mentally it changes the way I see myself and present myself.
Absolutely. I love cycling. I did it today.
Yeah. Do you take a spin class?
hmm
Yeah, I love spin classes. So the other thing, because this is a big issue now that's coming up, is the GLP-1 drugs. What do you feel about them?
So I think that there's a time and place for them. I actually made a video on this topic last week because it's really important. Do I think they get abused by people? A million percent. But I don't know anyone, and this might just be my own personal experience, who has been on a GLP-1 and has lost weight and come off of it and maintained their weight. And it's basically developing into a reliance on the weight loss shot every week. And to me, it's just upsetting because what the drug is doing is it's suppressing your appetite. And that's in turn making you consume fewer calories. So, of course, you're going to lose weight. But people are not only losing body fat, which you want to lose, they're losing muscle mass and bone density, which is so disturbing. And it's definitely going to, if their nutrition is not in check and they're not only losing mostly predominantly body fat, it could certainly backfire. I mean, there obviously are cases where people are obese or morbidly obese and they need these drugs, but it also is really important to understand that diet and exercise and some self-discipline and control and controlling your surroundings could really get you there as well in a very natural, healthy way.
So what do you say to the people? Because I just watched an interview with Oprah last week,
Yeah, I think I
talking,
saw clips of it.
yeah, talking about the weight loss, and she said the noise is out of her head now. The food noise is
Yeah.
out. So
I
how do
mean,
you say? What do you say to them?
I think GLP-1s, these drugs, what they do is they turn your mindset away from food. So it does quiet and lower that food noise. But what people don't realize is that you need to change your lifestyle habits while you're on the drugs in order to sustain them. You can't eat like crap while you're on the drugs, eating Doritos and the sugariest coffees all day and no protein and expect to lose only body fat. You need to keep your protein high, you need to strength train, and you need to get your steps in, stay hydrated, and have your fiber so that you're at least consuming the proper nutrients you need to maintain and build muscle and lose fat. The drugs are going to help you lose weight because you're eating fewer calories on them because you're not thinking about food. Eliminating that food noise means eliminating those extra calories that you would normally be consuming every day. But once you go off the drugs, the food noise is just going to come roaring back.
So how do you how do you make this sustainable? Because that I think is the issue that people have. I think losing weight is one battle, sustainability is the second.
Of course. And I think actually sustaining the weight is harder than losing weight. And that's just something that I have found to believe when I've helped clients and my own personal experience as a health coach who did lose 50 pounds and has maintained the same 5-pound weight range for 4 years, 5 years. I would say the thing that is keeping it sustainable is finding healthy swaps for my favorite foods and drinks and being aware of portions and realizing that I could eat everything, but I can't eat everything all at once. And to me, that is what makes it all sustainable to me.
What is your favorite food? And can you still eat your favorite food? If someone said to you, like, if I came to you and I said, I want potato chips.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I had frozen yogurt cake, 2 or 3 slices last night, and I had fried chicken from a restaurant. And I woke up today and my weight's the exact same. So my message is it's not what you do 5% of the time, it's what you do 95% of the time. And that is what really matters. People are so concerned about their weight and their diet from Christmas to New Year's. What about from New Year's all the way to Christmas?
So what do you suggest to people to do? Because this is one of the things that keeps, I would say, people think like, oh, I'm going to have some potato chips, and then you can't stop. Or
Yeah,
like,
I think
yeah.
people need to stop buying foods in their home when they know that they're trigger foods and they can control them. I used to be addicted to peanut butter and I could eat half of a tub of peanut butter in one sitting without even realizing it. And I stopped buying it and I didn't have it in my apartment. And I would have peanut butter in a smoothie or something when I'm out. But then after a while, I was able to start being in control around peanut butter. And I now have it in my pantry and I never even think about it because to me, it's just like a condiment or a topping or something. So I think people need to realize that their home, their living environment needs to be completely in their control. And there's no shame in removing a trigger food if it's something that is going to cause you to fall off of your health goals. And another thing I would say is remember, you need to control the controllables. And if you're able to buy single serve bags of popcorn or chips or pretzels, do that. Grab a bag and walk away. And maybe it might just be better off not having it in your apartment. And that's just the truth people need to hear.
Yeah, I mean, I think the sustainability is the hard part because I find the hardest thing is when I'm going out with people to eat.
Mhm.
Like that's where I find what am I going to eat, and all of a sudden, French fries at the table, and that's the hardest thing that I have trouble with.
Yes. I mean, I had French fries at the table last night and I ate some. I didn't eat the entire container because I was sharing them. But I think just realizing, first of all, never go into a meal starving or very hungry. Go into it being level headed and not full, but also not starving. There's a good middle ground. Always have a snack before a meal when you're going out, especially if it's a heavy meal where there's going to be, a lot of fried foods or other foods like that. And just realizing, put a serving or whatever you consider to be a serving on your plate or in your bowl, and then try to use your own willpower to not grab more. Don't eat them all at once. Maybe take bites between that and a salad or your main meal, and then you could go back to it. It's not going to run away.
What would you suggest to someone who's going to like a party or a wedding, and there's going to be a lot of hors d'oeuvres and a lot of desserts there?
I would probably recommend having a smoothie or a snack before and then filling up on whether it's vegetables or lean protein, shrimp cocktail, salad at the party, and then enjoying your fun foods in moderation. You don't need to stand and hover over the dessert table. Try to distance yourself from it. And if you get served a piece of cake, one piece of cake is not going to make you gain weight. People think it is, and that's not the fact.
Well, it's like if you look at sometimes people order burger and then fries, and then you get the Diet Coke.
Yeah.
And the Diet Coke really is the least of the problems there. It's it's the bun, it's
Yeah, I
the
mean, I get burgers all the time when I'm out, and I get a burger with no bun
yeah.
because to me, burgers don't really need buns, and you might as well just have two huge slices of bread from the bread basket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there. Do you think intermittent fasting works?
I mean, I get asked this almost every day, and my answer is if you're eating dinner, I want to ask you, what time do you usually eat dinner?
I usually eat dinner. I usually go spinning at 6 o'clock. I get home at 7, so I usually have dinner like 7:30.
Okay. And then what time do you eat breakfast?
This morning, I usually take my daughter, my husband, or I will take my daughter to school. And if I take my daughter to school, I'll stop and get coffee on the way when I go get her. And then when I come back, I usually will eat breakfast about 8:30.
So if you're done eating dinner at 8 o'clock p.m. and then you're not eating breakfast until 8:30, that's 12 to 12 and a half hours of not eating. And that is fasting. You're fasting for half the day. So is an extra 2 or 3 hours of not eating in the morning really going to change your life? The answer is no. And people think it's this miracle pill, this magic solution to weight loss. And my answer is no. What matters is the calories you consume versus the calories that you burn any given day over time. It's not just a one day thing, losing weight. It's obviously a, a long term thing that people need to work on. And if you like fasting and you like prolonging your first meal and pushing it out until noon or 1, by all means do it. But don't think that doing it is going to lead to you losing weight, because I've seen many people who push it out, but then they are snacking the entire day after that because it's during their eating window.
Yeah, I find the intermittent fasting problematic because I find myself getting hangry and I'm like, I want to eat food and it doesn't work for me. I don't know if it works for others, but to me, it's not something that it would work for.
Yep.
And then low carb diets. What do you feel about that?
I think they're great. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't eat a low carb diet. I eat a low net carb diet. And the net carbs are total carbs minus fibers minus sugar alcohols on any given nutrition label. So, for example, I just had a cinnamon roll that's high in protein and fiber, and I think it has 7 or 8 grams of net carbs, which is carbs minus fiber minus sugar alcohols. And that is the total amount of carbs that your body is actually digesting and absorbing into your body. So, I do not fear carbs. Last night I did not fear carbs. Today I won't fear carbs. I love fruit. I love things like potatoes and sweet potatoes and other types of foods. I just think that we should be predominantly focusing our meals and snacks on proteins, fibers, and healthy fats. But people also forget that fiber is a carb. And like fiber is a part of a carb. So by eating fiber, you are eating carbs. So I am a big fan of it, but remember, it has to be something that's very sustainable for you and your lifestyle. And to me, I think a lower carb diet is something that is sustainable for me and many people. It just might get past the few first days where it might be harder.
Yeah. When you go out there to talk to people, what's their reaction? Like when dealing with people, how do they react to you giving them advice?
You mean clients?
Like clients, yeah.
I think that they really value my opinion and know that I've walked the walk and talked the talk, and I have been there. And most of my clients come to me for weight loss. Some of them don't. Some of them come to me for weight gain. Some of them come to me for just overall eating healthier. And it's just they appreciate that I have been there, and they could definitely relate. And I could relate to that.
Right now, a lot of teens aren't learning how to eat right.
100%.
So how do we fix that problem?
At home, and it starts with what the parents are buying. And if you are buying junk, chances are 99% to 100% likely that your kid or kids are going to be eating what you're buying for the home. If you're buying fruits and vegetables and less processed snacks, your kids are going to be eating that a lot more. It's all about what you teach your kids from an earlier age. I have a lot of friends from the health and wellness and fitness world who have younger kids and kids, that are 5 to 10 years old. And the kids go to them craving fruits and craving popcorn that is better for you and craving, not sometimes craving the Unreal gems that aren't made with any food dyes or artificial bioengineered ingredients. So it's all about how they're raised. And it's never too late to slowly start introducing healthier swaps to your kids because they taste delicious and they might be a dollar or two more, but your health is your wealth. And it's really messing with kids' brains when they're eating artificial dyes all day.
Yeah, no, I know that that is a big problem. What advice would you give to someone who is trying to start to lose weight? Like if someone comes to, so if someone's looking at your Instagram today and they're watching the videos, what advice, and they're trying to figure out what I should buy, what I should do, how I should lose weight, how
So
should someone start?
So one thing that I would do differently, and I don't know how I would go about it because I'm not in the situation right now, but I would find an accountability partner, a friend, a family member who wants to undergo the same weight loss transformation as you. It doesn't need to be the same amount of weight loss. It just needs to be someone who wants to lose body fat. And I would find a friend to go to the gym with, to plan meals with, to just talk about everything with, because it could be very isolating sometimes when you don't have a community or a group. And that is something that I found to be really helpful when I hosted my group coaching sessions, because it was around 20 to 30 women who wanted to lose weight. And they would ask each other questions. They would send pictures of their meals. So I think finding a friend or two or a group who is all aligned with the same goals and mission is something that I would definitely do. And then when it comes to fitness, I would exercise 3 to 4 times a week. I would aim to get your steps in at least 8 to 10,000 steps a day on average. And I would find a strength training activity that you love, whether it's going to the gym or a workout class. And I would prioritize protein and fiber at your meals. And of course, stay hydrated with water and electrolytes.
Water's the best. I drink a lot of water every day.
Good.
As we start to wrap up here and I start to think any other advice, anything that we should touch on before we go?
I feel like there were so many good tips in here. I think one of the biggest ones that I will repeat is remember that your home, your living environment should be a very safe space for you when it comes to nutrition. If you are addicted to chips and you cannot stop eating them, and I know this might be harder if you live alone or with someone with similar goals, stop buying those foods. Stop buying the drinks that make you overeat. Swap your sugary sodas. I mean, that's a no-brainer for anyone. Like, I'm not a fan of like Diet Coke, but it's much better for you when it comes to weight loss than full sugar Coca-Cola, you know? And just realize, maybe sometimes planning is necessary. I mean, sometimes knowing what you're going to eat for dinner in the morning is really helpful in determining your day. If you're on a weight loss journey, try thinking about your meals, making sure they're all based around a protein and a fiber source. And also just remember, your goal is not to go from 0 to 100 overnight. You're not going to go from being unhealthy and living an unhealthy lifestyle to a very healthy, sustainable lifestyle overnight. It took me a very long time. And you need to focus on just getting 1% better, 1% healthier every day. Make one swap at a time. Don't go from, throwing out everything in your pantry and fridge and freezer to revamping it with everything from Whole Foods the next day. Finish what you have and then swap it with the better, cleaner alternatives.
Well, that's going to sustainability, because sustainability is a slow, long process.
100%. And people look at me now and they say, "How are you so disciplined?" And I'm like, I don't even consider myself that disciplined. It's just my lifestyle. And if you would have asked me 6 years ago, I would have said, "You're crazy if this was what I would be doing 6 years from then." And now it's just so sustainable and realistic for me. But I love it. Like, I love it because I love how it makes me feel. And I love that I'm able to help millions of people.
Yeah. Well, you did say like you could still have the cake.
Of
You're
course.
not
I mean,
turning away
I
the
had a
cake away.
junk cake, to be very honest. Like, I had a junk cake with food dyes and Oreos and cookie dough on top of it last night. And I had no guilt around it. It's honestly funny because one of my friends who I was with was saying, like, "I can't believe you're eating that." And I didn't even think for a minute that I can't eat it.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll make a video about that after this, because that's a really good point. I mean, people think because I'm a health coach, I hate the word cheat. I never treat myself to something that is off of my diet or meal plan. And I just want to make sure people understand that that's normal.
Well, I think that that's one of the biggest problems, right? Once you prevent yourself from having something, you are done. I always say the diet's over. The diet's over
and
if you prevent it.
Yeah, and I don't prevent myself from having anything, but I do not enjoy eating like that every single day. But I enjoy it once every few months, having something that's very indulgent, and then I move on.
Yeah, you can't eat that same way. like every day. You can't have cake every day.
No.
You can't have a donut every
Then
day.
it'll show up in my energy levels the next day, my mood, my skin, and I just won't feel well every day.
Skin's about water.
Yeah, it's very important.
It's water. You have to hydrate. That's what I've learned as I've gotten older. So
Absolutely.
it's all about the water. Hunter Stoller, thank you so much for joining me today. And out there, thank you for listening. If you have questions, put them in the comments. If you have comments, put them in the comments. Until next time, be safe, everyone.